Today we celebrate International Women's Day with our hearts and minds to the ongoing, horrifying invasion of Ukraine, to the courage of Ukrainian people who fight for freedom, and particularly to Ukrainian women. On this day, dedicated to women around the world, the Italian head of state, President Mattarella, said this morning that our first thought goes to Ukrainian women. To those women, I want to say, we are with you.
Dear Ambassador, dear Speaker, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, sisters, I wish I could stand here and talk to you about remarkable achievements of Ukrainian businesswomen and women in politics and the progress we have achieved actually during the past 8 years since we got rid of the pro-Russian regime, Mr. Yanukovych, who fled the country because people of Ukraine said no to Russia and said yes to the West, to European Union, to freedom, to sovereignty, to democracy. But today I want to say that as an ambassador, I feel enormous pride actually to represent my country. As a woman, of course, and mother, I feel pain because all of that happens in Ukraine should be stopped. Nobody is surrendering, nobody is going to stop, nobody is going to get tired. We will win this fight. It's just a question of how many of us will have to die until we win. I really hope that the next International Women's Day, we will again meet here and we will be talking about how we are rebuilding Ukraine and how Ukrainian women are taking active part together with all of you in all kinds of mentoring programs and in all kinds of development programs, and how we have put all that evil behind us.
In March, we celebrate Women's History Month, a way for us to reflect on those women who have blazed trails, have made the difference, women leaders, women who have broken the famous glass ceiling. I cannot think of a better example, of a better model of those women than the Speaker of the House, Madam Nancy Pelosi. With your permission, I would like to remind a famous quote of yours. You said, "None is going to give you power. You have to seize it." And I consider this a trait of leadership. We are talking here of the power not for the sake of power. We are talking about the power to contribute, the power to change, the power to have an impact. And Madam Speaker, you are the best example of a woman in power with that power, the power of changing.
Madam Ambassador, thank you for your very generous words of introduction and for the invitation to be here, and how fortunate we all are that this day, as we observe Women's History Month, and also this day celebrating women, that it is the first day that the embassy is actually opened up for a public event. How appropriate. When we all accepted your invitation to come, little did we know that we would be witnessing history at the same time. Madam Ambassador, it gives me chills just to think of being in the same room with you, with all that you are undergoing, with all of your leadership, all of your courage, and all that you speak about. The attack on Ukraine is an attack on Ukraine, but it is also an attack on democracy. I'm so glad that President Mattarella said what he said about women fighting in the military and in every aspect of life in Ukraine. And I'm so glad that President Mattarella has agreed to serve as president again. As we talk about Italy, let us talk about our ambassador. She, from Italy to the United States. When she first came and we heard her first address, we were all dazzled. Of course, we were thrilled that it was a woman ambassador, the first Italian ambassador to the United States. But just her previous assignments, the leadership that she had displayed, the values that she had presented, the connection she made to our country. People make a big fuss about my being the first woman Speaker of the House, and I think it's a male-oriented place. We had to break, not a glass, but a marble ceiling. I can understand that took time, but the first Italian-American, why did that take so long? Nothing is more wholesome for a political process or government than the increased participation of women in government and in politics. And when you're in the arena, it's hard. It's hard. This is not for the faint of heart, right? It's not for the faint of heart, right, Rosa? When you're in that arena, you have to be ready to take a punch. You have to be ready to throw a punch for the children, for the children.
One of us. The whole idea of one of us is basically to show that any one of us can be what we are, in position of responsibility, doing important things for our country, for our people, for art, for cinema, in different ways, for the economy. This is what one of us is all about. I want to say that this event is for the young people that are in the room. It's really meant as, it's for you. I mean, it's for you to show you that you can do it. Whatever you do, you can do it. You just have to believe in what you do. I want to say thank you to the wives of my colleagues who are here today. And lastly, but certainly not least, I want to say thank you to the women ambassadors who are present here today. They are great women, and I strongly believe that we have to be more in post of responsibilities, because frankly, sometimes the conversation is better. Sometimes the conversation brings more result if the conversation is among women.
According to the World Economic Forum, it will take another 136 years to close the global gender gap, and 100 years to achieve the global gender equality, if we take action now. So the question is, how can we take action now? One way is through the power of storytelling. This is why in 2020, together with Consul General of Italy in Los Angeles, Silvia Chiave, and producer Deborah Guetta, we have decided to shine the light on the journey of 4 extraordinary Italian women in Los Angeles, with the intent of creating the first video database of Italian immigrants women. Last year, I had the honor of meeting the first woman ambassador of Italy to the United States, Mariangela Zappia, who brought the project to a higher level by telling the stories of extraordinary Italian women in the East Coast. Through these stories, we wanted to show the strength, the determination, and the heart of these women, reminding us that they are one of us. In this historical moment, more than ever, it is important to be united, to empower each other, and to thrive for parity and peace.